What's up, guys? Welcome back to episode number 17 of Break It Down, the wrestling podcast. We know me, Dante, my co host Kyle. We break down everything that happens in the world of wrestling over the last week. We're talking about Clash in Paris, talking about Raw, we're talking about Dynamite, we're talking about All Out, Wrestlepalooza. Is AJ Lee finally returned to WWE? We're going to find out maybe at some point, maybe this week, maybe next week, maybe never. Kyle, before we jump into any of that stuff, how are you doing? My good sir, how's your week been?
Man, I can't complain, Da. It's been a good time, good week. School's back in session, so
Love that.
getting up early, getting child up on the bus, and
Mhm.
we're rocking and rolling, man. Just another day in paradise. Great week for wrestling.
W
Excited for to talk about this past weekend, but excited for what we got coming up as well.
Yeah, like you said when we joined the call, I was like, "How you doing?" You go, "A lot of wrestling to keep up with."
A lot of wrestling.
It there's a lot of wrestling, ladies and gentlemen, that, there is to enjoy. Like we mentioned before, if there's one wrestling promotion or company you don't like, luckily for you, there's a lot more to cover, and that's what we're gonna be doing today, but we're gonna be starting with the big event that happened this past weekend. That is Clash in Paris, and you guessed it, it was in Paris. 5 or 6 card show, breaking the norm of the 5 match card that we usually do. The first match that we had, Kyle, I'm just going to kind of go down the list
Let's do
here,
it.
matches that we had, and we'll give our thoughts as we go. Roman Reigns defeated Bronson Reed, and it was a very it was a very good match. Roman Reigns was doing some shit that we usually don't see from him. One reason because we don't see him too often, but he was doing Samoan drops off the second rope to Bronson Reed, and one move that you think could have broke the ring. Bronson Reed looked money. There was one spot where Roman went for a spear and they reversed it into a power bomb, which I thought was a really really good spot. And ultimately, Roman Reigns gets the win. I think we both. I think I
Nope. I was
you picked Roman. I picked.
no,
Was it the other
no,
way?
the other way around.
You're okay, see, I
And
need to be reminded. So
and I
you picked
thought
Bronson Reed, uh-huh,
I did, yeah.
and honestly, like, it's one of those matches, and afterwards, we'll get to what happened afterwards. Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, they take out Roman, stretcher him out. He was supposed to be in Jade's corner that night in the Fatal 4-Way, looking like that's not gonna happen. Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed banned from ringside. That's getting everyone's mind going. But do you think this was the right choice to have Roman win, especially if they were going to write him off eventually? They were going to write him off anyways, right? Street Fighter's coming up. He has a
Sure.
big movie to film. So if he's going to be off anyways,
Well,
wouldn't you think
this is the 4th time this year they've written him off TV.
and
Uh,
it's just that's where we're at with the Roman Reigns in his career.
so
That's just the easy way to do it.
no, easy. No, I completely understand, and here's where I think WDB they made up for it was the aftermath, the
Mhm.
tsunami on the stretcher,
Yeah, yeah.
all that stuff, because then it brought the power back into the Vision's corner. I don't know if they needed. I mean, at this point, they're just Roman Reigns is just going to win, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
Like, okay, fine.
He already
Now,
took his big loss at Mania this year. He's like, "I'm not going over for anybody else."
apparently, because like they could
Yeah.
have kept the Shula Fala going. The Vision could have looked a little bit more powerful.
I mean,
Uh,
Bronson beating Roman, especially you write Roman off, that's a
right,
huge push for Bronson.
100%. And but they gave him all that power back in the aftermath.
Mhm.
So I don't know. To answer your question, I guess it makes sense if we're just going to assume Roman Reigns is just going to win in PLEs now. If
Yeah.
that's just the way he's only going to lose in a WrestleMania in only that major key storyline, and then
Mhm.
he's done with it. But yeah, I think that I think Bronson should have won.
Yeah.
I think it would have made the power of the Vision more dominant.
It's one of those things where it's like, who needs to win more there? Bronson Reed easily. Roman Reigns is a guy that could lose 20 straight times at this point in his career. And like that 21st time he gets the win where no one's going to care. People are going to forget about the previous 20.
Well,
It's WWE. It's WWE logic where it's like they have the guy lose but beat the guy up afterwards. So that's kind of like your 50-50 booking. And if that's just how it's always been, that's what they're always going to be doing. So I
exactly.
think I would have liked Bronson to Reed the way the match was going. I would have been cool with, him getting over, especially they announced before Roman was in the corner. So I'm thinking he beats him, takes him out, perfect, but we just got the taken out part. Either way, it was a good match, and, Roman, we will see you in, October or November.
See
Next
you in Perth.
match. Yeah, we'll see you. We'll see you at some point, whatever big pay-per-view, well, they have you advertised for. They don't have him for Wrestlepalooza. He won't be there for that. But next match we have the Wyatt Six defeating the Street Profits in I want to point out a few things. One, the entrance for the Wyatt Six was hands down one of the coolest entrances I have seen recently. Just all the fireflies, the way they had the Eiffel Tower lit up was such a perfect way to kind of um what's the word I'm trying to think of? It was just a perfect setting. It would just really match the entrance and everything. And Street Profits come out in Borderlands gear. Not the biggest fan of these these sponsored gears and stuff. I do like Borderlands. I did think it looked pretty cool, but I hate it. I hate that they're doing that. During this match, Kyle, and this is something that kind of like took me by surprise a bit, especially because of how like much they were doing it. The Street Profits looks like there might be a split on the way. A lot of miscommunication. They eventually lost the match. Wyatt Six had some interference, so they played a big part in it. But there were like Dawkins and Ford couldn't get on the same page. They were tagging each other in, kind of brushing each other off. They didn't nothing happened during the match as far as a split, but it seems like we're going in that direction. If that's the case, do you think this is smart for them to split the Street Profits, excuse me, because they've been together for
Long time.
6, 7 plus years at this point. And as much as and I'll give my thoughts on like Montez Ford going on a solo run and stuff, it is crazy that we finally might be getting to a point where they might pull the trigger and actually split them up.
Yeah, I mean, you have a tag team a long time. You have some guys getting written off, some injuries. I think you got some test some waters. It's easy to bring them back together if you need to,
Mhm.
but I think that I think why not, right?
I think there's
Why
no
not?
better time than now, I guess. I mean,
Right.
I think this is something that could have happened years ago. Montez Ford was getting a little solo push, competing for the US Championship, Elimination Chamber matches. He was great. And then they went back to, being the Street Profits. I think if they do this, I'm looking forward. I should say, I hope they push Montez Ford well, because that is someone I really think could be a potential main event guy if they actually do it the right way. He can talk. He's got the charisma. He's got the move set. He's really got all the tools it takes. It's just a matter of them separating them and allowing him to go on that solo run and still be likable from the fans, give the fans someone that they like, and, they can do a lot with him. Dawkins, on the other hand, I don't know if I have as much confidence in WWE pushing him as much as they would push Ford, and that's no knock on Dawkins because I think he is a fantastic wrestler. I think he carries his own in the Street Profits. That's a 50-50 duo. That's not Ford carrying. That's they work together, they make that work. If he goes solo though, in history, I feel like when tag teams split, there's one guy that's gonna get the shit end of the stick, and in
Yeah.
this case, I think it would be Dawkins.
Yeah, I don't here's my thing is I'm really struggling to get on board with WWE creative right now. Like
You
in
and
a
a few
whole
other people.
well, I know that, but that's for me like I watch what's coming up and I watch like how things are playing out and I just don't know unless guys really fight for themselves and really kind of come in with their own flavor. I don't know how well the creative team's going to push them.
Mhm.
And so I don't know, you know, and I know that's a generic bland answer, but I just
And
I
I will say too, and not to
how
interrupt you, but I will say too, I can't trust I it would be dumb of me to say like, "Oh, I believe WWE is gonna push Montez Ford to a level that they
right.
could,"
But he
because
has
even
that
2 years
charisma
ago.
piece.
Mhm.
He has all those other intangibles that
Yep.
I don't, you know what I mean? So that's why it's like I feel like you'd be leaning on creative for one guy versus
Sure.
you'd be using all the assets the other guy has naturally, which is where I
It
think the two, like to your said, using this shit end of the stick.
Yeah, and I can't sit here and act like what was going on 2 years ago is not a lot different than what's going on now because Montez Ford push back in 2023 when, pre all this, TKO, ESPN shit came around, like, WWE creative and how they were booked is a little bit different than how it is now. I feel like someone like Montez Ford, it's more likely for him to get lost in the shuffle of guys that should get pushed and have enough talent to do so, but WWE right now, ESPN, TKO, they have their favorites, their handpicks, and not everyone gets the push that they should. So if they do this split, which it seems like they're teasing, I'm interested. I don't have faith because they've taught me not to have faith, but
Right.
I hope the best for both of them if they do go solo at some point.
It'll be interesting to see where they both land.
Yeah, for sure. And we all know they will 100% have like a blow off match or something. That'll be like their first feud going against each other because naturally that's how it'll go. The next match we have the only women's match on the card actually. Becky Lynch defeating Nikki Bella to retain her Intercontinental Championship. I don't have many notes from this match. It was a fine match. It was Nikki Bella's first, like, not solo match, but I think that was her first like 15 plus minute match in a while. She was out there for a bit,
Yeah.
and for what it's worth, in Clash in Paris, big event. The crowd was being rowdy. She was getting some cheers, getting some boos. There was a spot that was going around Twitter of this botch that happened. Shit happens.
The 15-mile
Um,
kick.
yeah, yeah, she was
Yeah,
someone was like, she was going for her ex, John Cena. She nailed him with the drop kick. I'm like, of
that's
course.
funny. Actually, didn't see that.
But yeah, I mean, the result was expected. There was no part of me that
Yeah.
thought Bella was gonna win, and it is what it is. I didn't expect a barn burner, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I think last week I said that I thought this feud was kind of a rushed feud. I just
Big
didn't
time.
kind of hadn't bought into it yet, and it felt I don't know. I just felt that Nikki probably needed a few more weeks of in
Mhm.
ring action before
100%.
and
Yeah, it
that but that's here's the thing though. That's this tough part about bringing all these people back. You're going for these nostalgia pops, you're going for these big moments, these social
mhm.
media clips, and they're great, and these are all professional wrestlers who I enjoyed watching, and I'm that we all enjoyed watching, but
They did get their clip from this match. That is
yeah,
true.
but if you're not you just got I don't know. I don't want to bang on the on Becky and Nikki's match, but it's like I don't know. There were times in it where I was like, "This really? Okay."
Mhm. No, this wasn't a
It just
pay-per-view
felt
match.
super rusty.
This was not a pay-per-view match. This was something they easily could have done on Raw. This was to make up for Stephanie Vaquer's World Championship match getting taken off of. They had to
Right.
replace it. I mean, what it was built off was like Nikki Bella ran so Becky Lynch can sprint type of situation. Like I was here before you. Like the I brought all the eyes on that. That was the build. But like you said, it was very rushed. There was not really like, yeah, I guess, like, you were here before Becky, but, like, it's not like you guys had much history, and it's not like, there was really much
Right.
clashing in the past. If it was a match, again, that they said, "Next week on Raw, Becky Lynch versus Nikki Bella," cool, like, yeah, that is a great place to do that match,
Right.
but in a spot like this and too, like, you're talking about nostalgic purposes, like, take out this match because you get the nostalgic, and if you place it with superstars that have a good story and will have a good match, it's like you're kind of sacrificing one to get the other. And in WWE, they love the nostalgia. They love the, as we all know, we've seen
Boy,
for
do they.
recent months. They do, and we will get to talking more about it later. But they're going to be doing it again in a few weeks potentially. But okay, that match. We move on. This match this fucking match, Rusev defeats Sheamus in a good old fashioned whatever the fuck it was called. It
Donnybrook
was
match
Donnybrook match.
took
Oh,
place in
how
an Irish pub.
the first ever. It fucking kicked ass, dude. This was Sheamus giving a big middle finger to WWE saying, "You haven't put me on a PLE, a singles match in 3 goddamn years. I'm going to go out there and give you a 5-star match." That's exactly what they did. These two guys, like we talked about this, like if they're going to go out there, you're putting this on a pay per view, let them go at it. Let these guys fucking cook. and let them show people why this deserved to be on a pay-per-view. This was a great match. Rusev, huge win for him. Sheamus, unbelievable showing, just continuing to cement his legacy as one of like the just one of the best workers, one of the best, just like not big men, but just a big man that can just fucking fight and take a hit and just do crazy shit. Sheamus, one of a kind, so underrated all time. Love him. Kyle, what were your thoughts on the match?
Agreed. Sheamus, second time ever tapping out in his career.
Mhm.
Just
Crazy.
absorbs
Oh,
punishment and
and
deals
the
out
it looked
punishment.
so painful. It
It
looked
did.
so painful.
The shillelagh in the mouth, just
Oh,
everything sold beautifully, using the steps,
yep.
setting up. I mean, that is what a street fight. That is what did I say it was?
Uh, I already forget
Donnybrook. I
Donnybrook.
almost
Yeah,
want to
I
say
gotta write that
boondoggle, but
down.
that's not the right word.
No,
Donnybrook match. It was
Donnybrook.
phenomenal. I was on my feet from the beginning to the end. I just love when. Here's what I love about wrestling, Dante, is when it looks and feels and sounds like the other guy is getting brutally beaten up. That's
Ah,
wrestling. That's fun.
that's the
That's
good
it's
stuff.
gladiators. These
Yeah.
are modern day gladiators. The TV or arena is my coliseum. I
Mhm.
want to see a fight till one guy
Ah,
bleeds.
Kyle,
That's what I want.
what you saying that right here, like we need you. I'm saying this for everyone that's gonna be watching. We need you to get on to New Japan Pro Wrestling World, $10 a month, Kyle. I will you wanna
When would
talk
I
about
watch that? I
Ki
have a small child.
well, this
When
isn't
would I
like no,
watch
this is
that?
like it's a streaming service, but you can go back and watch whenever you want. Like you can watch the matches whenever. It's all replay shit, not like the live events. No, I'm
But I
talking
would be
about
screaming in my house at odd
old
hours.
Kyle, there are some matches that you were talking about, like hurting each other. Like I listen. I'll send you over a list. We'll figure it out, but we
Okay.
got to get you onto that at some point. But I listen. This was wrestling. This was a
Yes.
wrestling match, and that's what you can expect out of guys like this. And again, the way the feud's been going, they've had so many matches. People have been criticizing it. I've criticized it too, but going on this card, they earned the spot and they wanted to prove to people that they earned it. That's exactly what they did. Um, yeah, so big win for Rusev. I hope he
Agreed.
keeps getting a good push because after this, like you got to keep the momentum going. And we have two more matches before we jump into the other topics and what came out of this. Second to last match, Kyle. John Cena defeating, I'm going to say this, the talented Logan Paul because this
Ah.
was a this was a great match. Logan Paul, you've said it, I've said it. He's a great wrestler. Okay, guys? He's for competing in 20 something professional wrestling matches, he's got it figured out. Okay. He has slip ups. He shouldn't be doing the buckshot lariat. I can get behind you on that one. Space also too because he's talk shit about Hangman and stuff, and he goes talk shit and he tries to do his move, doesn't do it nearly as well. So I agree with that. I should stop that. But he brought out a side of John Cena, and I'm not here to say this was John Cena's best match. It wasn't, but this surely was one of John's best matches of this retirement tour, this run. John Cena pulling out moves that he's never done before, styles clashes. He was doing the double armed face slam, the Angel's Wings, Christopher Daniels. He was doing what other move did he do? He
Code
did a
Red.
like some sort of suplex. I
Did the
forget
Code
what
Red, right?
Code Red. He had a Code Red. He was doing just he was in his bag. He was in his bag. Logan Paul, obviously, as athletic as he is, able to sell these things, make John Cena look good, looked well at the same time. John Cena got the win, needed to happen. And yeah, and that was that, Kyle. You said you were looking forward to the match. So do you think this match will hit your expectations or
Yeah, it did what it needed to do. I mean,
Mhm.
I knew John Cena was going to win. You just knew that was going to happen. Like I've said for now 2, 3 weeks, I love
Yep.
to hate Logan Paul. So I knew that
Makes it
Logan
easy.
Paul was going to come through and do things. I agree. Let's not be. John Cena has earned the right to do other people's moves that he's checked off his rivals through his career.
100%.
Logan, why don't we
She's
pump the
paying
brakes?
respect.
Why don't we pump the brakes and don't do other company moves?
Mhm.
Why don't we just try to, do what
Get
you
your
do best?
develop your own move set and, yeah, let it
Yeah,
naturally come
maybe
to
not
you.
debut other people's moves from other companies on our
Yeah,
PLEs,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
The
because people are
buckshot
gonna start
lariat.
talking about that other company when you do that move.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, I thought that was weird. Even when I saw that, I was like, "Why? Why that?"
He's I will say he has done less often than not, he has delivered, some good buckshots, but more often than not, they look like the ones that we saw on Sunday, which
Yeah,
wasn't
it's
good.
just it's not fluid.
No, absolutely no, it's not fluid at all. No, he lands
So
around his
why are we
feet,
doing it?
pauses, and does it. Yeah, you'd think after a little bit someone
Yeah,
would, help him out with it or point out, "Hey, let's take a step back until we can keep that thing rolling."
yeah.
But
Or
John Cena
maybe it's the other
wins.
guy's thing now, main staple. Let's just not
Mm.
let's put a pause on it.
Yeah, yeah, 'cause whenever you do the move, it's gonna get reminded of the other guy, so maybe pull ourselves out
Yeah.
of that. Now, John Cena, we're on to Wrestlepalooza. He's gonna be in Chicago on SmackDown, and I wonder if someone else is gonna be there that we haven't seen since the end of SummerSlam, but we will
Well, I
wait and
do know
see.
he's advertised for Tulsa, Oklahoma,
Okay.
'cause
That's
I
I
was
think that's
going
the
through.
SmackDown before
I think so.
Wrestlepalooza?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think so.
yeah.
So I know that he's on the poster for that.
Well, listen, on the
Um,
Wrestlepalooza, you look up on the Wikipedia, you look at the matches, it's John Cena versus TBA. You might as well take that TBA out of there and put Brock Lesnar because
yeah,
that's obviously that's what we're doing. Um,
I mean,
but
at this point, it's pretty.
y-
I would be
well, I mean, if
more
it doesn't
upset
happen
at
here, like,
creative.
what the fuck are we doing? Like,
Well,
we
here's the
haven't.
thing: is if they do this thing where it's like, well, we've always kind of made you feel it was going to be this way, but you never can know because sometimes we make you think this and then we go here. I'm going to be so upset because if it's not Brock Lesnar,
It's
if it's not the
it's
other
another
person who
Triple
we'll get
H.
to later on,
Triple H,
I,
you just got to enjoy the ride.
yeah,
You got
no,
to
I
enjoy the
don't. I
ride.
don't have to enjoy the ride. If you ruin the ending of the book, if you
Didn't.
ruin the end of the movie, like if you get me halfway through a movie and you just go mess it up for me, I don't have to
Mhm.
finish it. I
We're
will
just
walk
going,
out of
"Never
the theater.
mind." Yeah. I mean, you said, like, what if Brock Lesnar is coming back not for Cena? Like, what if he just shows up and starts taking
Yeah,
people out?
I
But that's no, it's bullshit. That's a
yeah,
cop
I
out.
thought that at first, but then there's been too many other things that have happened that just
Mhm.
so I don't know. It's
No, that would
yeah.
be that would be the worst case scenario, honestly. But we'll see what happens. Well, that's a wait and see. That's a wait and see. Last match of Clash in Paris. We had Seth Rollins putting up his World Heavyweight Championship and defending it against LA Knight. Yeah, CM
Yeah,
Punk and Jay Uso. And before we get into the nitty gritty, I do want to give Triple H credit where credit is due. I love it when they do shit like this. Shawn Michaels does it a lot in NXT. The immediate callback at the beginning of the match, CM Punk super kicking Jay Uso. That was Survivor Series 2009 or 2010. It was Cena versus Triple H versus Shawn Michaels triple threat match WWE Championship. First 5 seconds, DX is like together about to go after Cena. Shawn Michaels super kicks Triple H out of the ring. And it's just a one on one. You got the John Cena meme. You probably have seen this meme before. Close up
sure.
of John Cena, Shawn Michaels, Cole, like just no emotion. They did that at the beginning of the match. CM Punk taking out Jay. They were looking like, what the fuck? Love that callback. Um, it was a back and forth match. Four guys, nonstop action. Guys were going through tables, curb stomps on the outside, a lot of close calls, close finishes. We get to the end, Kyle. We get to the last two. CM Punk and Seth Rollins, the two men that we both predicted would probably be the last two men involved in the finish. Now, I mentioned this earlier. Going into this match, Roman Reigns was supposed to be in Jey Uso's corner. Roman Reigns is gone. Seth Rollins, he's got the Vision. Braun and Bronson, guess what? They were banned from ringside. All this speculation now has been, I mean, there's been speculation since the groups have been formed. Is there going to be another member? Are they going to be adding more people? Blah, blah, blah. If they do it, now's the time. I can't even tell you how many different people's names I've seen on Twitter that day. It's going to be them. It's going to be Tony D'Angelo from NXT. It's going to be Nathan Frazier. It's going to be Austin Theory. It was Becky Lynch. It was his wife. It was his wife the whole time. She comes out, CM Punk about to hit Seth with a second GTS, another callback to their Netflix Raw debut match where he fell on top of him after the first GTS, picked him up, boom, low blow. Lynch takes off the hoodie, the mask. It's her. It was her the whole time, Austin. It was Lynch. And yeah, Seth Rollins pins Punk, the power couple standing tall. And my oh my, I'm gonna get your thoughts. I'm gonna get your thoughts. But this was such a I wouldn't even say mixed reaction. I was watching it and I was like, okay. I was like, I can get I can get behind this. I get the connection here. Like, yeah, I'm cool with this. Oh, the IWC hated this. They absolutely went in because and it's stupid, but people were like, "Oh, this was 2019 all over again. Remember when WWE had their worst year in history? Guess who was on top of the company?" It's 2025, ladies and gentlemen. This is 6 years later. We are not in 2019. So let's not compare apples to oranges here. We don't have a lunatic elderly man pouring dog food on Roman Reigns. No, no, no. Well, this is a very different era of wrestling. And that's just people looking for something to complain about. Kyle, what are your thoughts on Becky Lynch seemingly joining the Vision? Well, we can kind of discuss if we think that's going to be a long term thing or not. If it's more of like a short
Sure.
term. But what do you think of her getting involved, helping out Seth, and kind of continuing the story between them?
Yeah, I mean, kind of same with you. As soon as like the masked person unmasked, and I was like, oh, and it was just like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Like the
Okay.
other two
Yeah.
people were
Adds up.
banned. His spouse was in the arena.
She's already there.
You
Yep.
know what I mean? Like, yeah,
Yep.
of course she would come. And of course, yeah, she would eventually join the Vision as she is a heel and she's the bad guy for the
Yep.
women's
Man.
division.
Bad man.
Bad man. She's the man. Yes,
Yeah.
correct. So yeah. Uh so yeah, I guess that makes sense. And so it all fits. And the internet immediately went to, well, this eventually obviously means now that your spouse has gotten in, now my spouse will get in.
Yes. That's how it works. It's
So
just putting the piece of the puzzle together
yeah,
immediately.
I mean, now it's so more blatantly obvious that that has to be what happens on
Yeah, so
Friday.
we can now
Like,
segue into this. Let me just let me just put this out there.
yeah,
AJ Lee, ladies and gentlemen, is it happening? Is it
breaking,
finally
breaking.
happening? Breaking. Yeah, I mean, like you said, as soon as this happened, it's an immediate, well, he's got a wife. Well, he's got a wife. We
Oh,
all
and we're in
wrestle.
Chicago on Friday.
Isn't it funny
Weird.
how and can I tell you something, Kyle? Because I'm a big believer that WWE, they have done this in the past, but you know they plot things, they put things in the crowd, they do things on purpose, right?
100%.
When you have your analyst, the post show, bringing up AJ, that's not something you just do. This isn't like a wait. Does this mean AJ Lee is a possibility? CM Punk took a sign in the crowd that said CM Punk and AJ Lee.
Right.
Someone very much so could have brought that. But for me, while they're mentioning AJ Lee on the post show, it's just so happens that he walks across someone that has a sign, takes it out, looks at it, goes, nods his head, gives it back. They're planting seeds,
Yeah,
okay?
100%.
Too much. They're planting seeds too much. Where and there have been times in the past where it's like not rumors, but like number 30 in the Royal Rumble, it could be AJ Lee, like like speculation. If they don't go through with this time, with after all these teases, they are gonna get ripped for this. Like
Well,
it's AJ Lee is one of those people that's like it's a pipe dream. Like it will it ever happen? Like no, like it's most likely never gonna happen. But now like WWE, they're the ones teasing it. They're not the one, they're the fans were the ones speculating it. Now WWE's the one speculating it. Chicago on Friday. It at this point, I hate to be that guy because it's like I hate to, have my tinfoil hat on, be like, it's gonna finally happen. But like again, if it doesn't happen here, not only will it never happen, but WWE is gonna get shit on. They're gonna get shit on for it.
I mean, yeah, because at what point? Because you can't start a book get everyone
Yeah.
to a point where they go,
Yes.
"Oh, I'm enjoying this," and then go, "Ha ha ha, it's Paige."
Yep.
I mean, like they'll be like, "Oh,
Because
wow."
and what worries me is during Raw, CM Punk and Rhea Ripley had a backstage segment where Rhea Ripley and CM Punk would kinda talk about their recent downfalls.
Right.
So, on Friday, instead of we hear "Light It Up," AJ Styles theme song, we hear "This Is My Brutality" instead. And it's not even that Punk and Rhea versus Seth and, Becky on paper, that's a huge match. That's a big match,
But it doesn't make
but
sense.
it doesn't make sense, and that's a match that you clearly just put together to put the 4 biggest names for a pay-per-view that you're debuting on ESPN and just trying to get all your big names on there. There's no story that goes into it, and again, as much as people love Rhea, it's not AJ Lee. And since you've
Right.
been heavily teasing AJ Lee, if it is anyone but her, there's going to be backlash to the match. There's just going to be. And then so just kind of furthering, and I have some notes here of because Becky Lynch and CM Punk did have a segment on Raw. I kind of wanted to touch a few things here because I do think it was a good segment.
Let's touch on it.
Um, Becky Lynch asks if she's the man that Punk was looking for because CM Punk hijacked the show. He's like, I've been waiting for Rollins. He's not calling me out. I'm calling him out. He's calling out Seth Rollins. Becky Lynch comes out to Seth Rollins music, throwing everyone off. CM Punk tells Becky that this has nothing to do with her unless she's got her phone on her and can call Rollins to get his rotten ass out here. Lynch says that this has everything to do with her. Does CM Punk think he only impacted one person in her family? She said that she's had to listen to Punk tell lies about her husband, berating the father of her child, the greatest man she knows. And Punk immediately says, "Your husband's a coward." Lynch is like, "He sacrificed so much more for this business than you will ever know. He is everything Punk will never be." Lynch says, and this is when it gets a little because I see what they're doing here. They're trying to, get Lynch involved in this, and it makes sense up to this point. But this is when they're starting to lose me. She says, when he walked out, the people chanted Punk's name to let her know they didn't care about her and the hard work she was putting in. So she was talking about how she was, on her way to WrestleMania and stuff. And during her matches, Punk's name was being chanted. I don't know if I don't know if they were chanting CM Punk's name during Becky Lynch matches. Maybe that did happen, but like I think that is kind of a you're kind of taking something that we all know of, like fans chanting Punk's name and kind of just asserting your name in there to kind of be like you were involved in my shit when I don't know if that's 100% true.
Right.
Either way, um, the crowd's telling her shut the fuck up, and she tells them they'll listen, whatever, shut your mouth. She said they start a revolution. They call it visionary, revolutionary, blah 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 blah. Then CM Punk gets on the mic. He says, "I'm not the only one that says I'm the best in the world. They say I'm the best in the world. It's a bunch of maniacs and parrots saying that I'm the best in the world. They chant my name whether I work here or not. They chant my name whether I'm a champion or not. The towns that they were in for this tour, they all chanted my name, but Lynch and Rollins weren't there with their plastic belts. Punk says the only thing Rollins runs from is adversity. And he hides behind his title, Paul Heyman, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, and now his wife. He says she is so much more than somebody's wife, but unfortunately, she married a bum and has bad taste. Seth Rollins comes out, tell him to come down to the ring, come face to face with me. He tries to. Becky Lynch gets in the way, slaps Punk, and now Punk goes, "You'll regret." Well, he says Seth Rollins will regret ever cashing in on me, and you will regret putting your hands on me. And then afterwards, like you mentioned earlier, Punk goes backstage. Where is SmackDown this Friday? Chicago. Tremendous. So again, I just kind of I this segment I thought was a pretty decent back and forth segment, just kind of getting
She's such
Lynch
a great
caught
heel.
up. I really do like her much more as a heel than a face. I think she is someone that could do both. Obviously, I think she was the man. The man was created when she
Right.
kind of had a heel turn, but like was with the fans and the fans were behind her. And she's really good in that position. But as a heel, she's a good talker. She's a good shit talker. And that's what made this promo work, her and Punk. So, um, yeah. Do you have any notes from the promo? Anything else from kind of this feud and what do you think that what's the percent right now of this match happening? The husband and wife versus the husband and wife. Do you think it's a
If
complete
it's not
100%?
100%, I will stand out. I will stand outside and boo any event that I go to. Just because at this point you've blue balled me. Like
Yeah.
this is now it is exactly what it
You
should
can
be,
never trust them
which is a
again.
really cool match. Like how many
Mhm.
times do you get husband and wife versus husband and wife
Right.
when
Mhm.
two people who legit look like they hate each other?
100.
So I'm hoping there's even more of a stipulation on the match where all of a sudden we're getting like some extreme
Yeah.
stuff happening because
And Lynch and Lee have, I think they legit have history. I think Lynch has said stuff about Lee, like, in podcasts and stuff years ago about, like, not
even better.
not positive stuff completely. So, there's legit like, there is legit heat tension there that they can build off of, and one thing I will add too, not that it means anything to WWE, but if AJ Lee is coming back, well, I wonder if it's a one-time thing. I don't know if it would be a one-time thing or a few matches, but one thing is for sure, she will be getting a bag. She will be getting plenty of money for coming out of
Oh yeah.
retirement for the first time in 10 plus years. And one last thing before we kind of get on to our next our top of Wrestlepalooza, all out. Um, I do think it is funny that after all these years of speculating AJ Lee returning, is it WrestleMania, a big match at WrestleMania, number 30 in the Royal Rumble? Nope, even better. Wrestlepalooza. I I do think it's funny how it's just after all this time, this is when we most likely are getting it. I'm cool with it. Like, the name of the event shouldn't matter, right? It's the moment, it's the match, it's the story, but it is really funny to think that this is where it's taking place.
But I don't know, the names do matter. Like,
They do matter.
I'm from an
They
era
do.
where the name in the poster and the trailer mattered. Like, that intro
You main
trailer
eventing WrestleMania means a lot more than main eventing a Wrestlepalooza.
but the name of the event, I don't know, just WrestlePalooza, just I don't know. I don't we you can get me on a tangent
You
on
already have one wrestle other word name.
Yeah,
You already have WrestleMania. You wouldn't need another wrestle something.
yeah, you could do what another company did and trademark a cooler ECW name. We'll get to that at
Yeah,
some point.
we'll get to that in a few
But
minutes.
you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's for the court. Yeah.
No, no, no. I do agree. I 100% believe that the events like where you wrestle, where you're main eventing, and where these matches take place, certain events carry so much more weight than others. 1000%. And I think in a case of, but I think there are instances and there's exceptions where like CM Punk returned on an episode of or no for AEW I'm talking about on an episode of Rampage on a Friday night. AJ Lee is going to return 10 plus years. When you have big names like that, you can have them show up anywhere and people are going to be like, okay, like would I rather have this been at WrestleMania or Royal Rumble? Sure, 100%, but we're getting it. So
Yeah, gotta beggars
it
can't be
is what
choosers.
it
You gotta be
is.
happy with the cards you
It,
get dealt.
beggars can't be choosers. I think that is that's the best way of going at it. But okay, that's Clash and Pair. Oh, well, hold on. Let's actually before we move on from WWE and stuff, let's stick with the rest of Raw. I have a few other things I have here.
Yeah.
AJ Styles and Dominic Mysterio for the Intercontinental Championship. Is this going to be the one where AJ finally wins? He finally wins the Intercontinental title, finally defeats Dominic. Well, he came out before we got the chance to see if that was going to happen. He came out and got a 5-minute ovation from this Paris crowd. It going through commercial break, singing "He is phenomenal." AJ Styles singing, dancing. We saw the reaction to him last year in Paris when he fought Cody. This was that it's like they chose him. It's like this is our chosen wrestler. This is the guy we go crazy for every time we're here. And that seeing him absorb that and take it in was so cool. I'm like, that must be the dopest feeling in the world. And I'm happy he got that because he lost. He lost to Dominic. El Grande Americano got involved. Styles is going to hit the phenomenal forearm. Grande comes in, causes a distraction. Dom gets the pin. The title reign continues. Mysterio, El Grande continuing to kind of work together, be friends, whatever we want to call them. And at this point, Kyle, I hate to say it,
Padres.
but I think AJ Styles' journey of chasing and capturing the Intercontinental Championship is over. I think I have to put a cap on it now.
Yeah, only so many times you can knock on that door
Yeah.
before
Yeah.
it. But yeah, I mean, first time the Intercontinental Belt was defended in France since 1993.
Wow.
Fun
You
fact.
got you got fun facts in front of you. I did not know that. What do you
Came in
got
with
what do
the
you got
roll. I
next for
wrote
me?
down notes. Uh, and
I'm a
so
professional note taker if you don't know that about me.
co-pilot. It's cool. No, yeah, no. I thought it was a good match. I really, really do enjoy watching Dom and AJ. I think they have a really good chemistry in the ring. But
Yeah.
just there's just so many times I can watch the match in a quick series where I'm like, okay, maybe we move on from this for a little bit.
Yeah.
So I agree with you there, but they definitely have a great chemistry in the ring.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd love to say, we'll see them go at it again, but I I'm good with that for a little bit. AJ Styles, I don't know what they have next up for him. Maybe he starts something with El Grande, but I don't know if a championship is in his near future. And then the last thing, Kyle, I wanna talk about, and honestly, this kinda could bleed in because this could be a potential match. Jey Uso was getting beaten down by The Vision, and his brother, twin brother, Big Jimmy Uso comes down, makes the save. Jey Uso saying, "I can't do it without you. I need you. I need you." Seemingly, um, seemingly reuniting the Usos. That's kind of been a rumor for a little bit. Jimmy Uso getting moved back over to Raw. The Usos, realigning, becoming a tag team again, strengthening the tag team division. And I honestly don't know. I don't know how I feel about the Usos reuniting because they're one of the best tag teams in WWE history without a doubt. But at the same time, by doing this, I think that they are putting a halt on the Jey Uso solo singles run, I think. Even though you could have him, do solo stuff, and I think you have him have individual matches, of course. And two, maybe even most importantly to me, Jimmy Uso is getting further away from winning a solo championship, which is something that we've been kind of talking about. The one guy in the family that really hasn't gotten that solo push,
Right.
putting him back in the I think it's more of like a I think it is more of like a Jimmy can't do it on his own, so they're putting him back with Jay, than Jay, going back with Jimmy. But this could be a match that happens at Wrestlepalooza. Usos returning versus Division. First thoughts on the Usos reuniting potentially. There's nothing been confirmed yet. And two, if that's a match you would like to see, their first match back, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like since Jay's title run, he's slowly been on a downward slope,
Mm.
just slowly, just kind of getting back, now landing back to where he started his tag team. So
And it's weird too because he lost the belt, but yet he got a win at SummerSlam, got the pin, and then he
right,
lost at Clash, but he didn't eat the pin or anything like that. So it's like it's not that he's been getting buried or
no,
eating
but I just
pins, but it's like I'm with you. I agree
where
with
you
you.
think his trajectory. It's not that he's been getting buried, but it's not like he's in matches where you're like, oh, this is a Jey Uso win.
He's not elevating
Yeah,
at all.
he's
No,
just
he's just
there,
flatlining, kind of.
and that's where I kind of think this is now more of a let's get them back together, and something has to happen to push Jimmy, to push
Yep.
Big Jim. Um, I don't know. I've been waiting to see some sort of disruption within the Usos, like some sort of, and I feel like they've tried to tease it. Where like,
Well, I'll tell you
who was
what.
it? Someone was trying to get in Jim's head, telling him like he can't do it without his brother. There was some of
What
this
was
stuff
that during the Gunther feud?
that might have, yeah, that might have
Maybe
been
it was.
Gunther.
Well,
That
I'll
might
tell
have been
you what,
Gunther.
Kyle. I as much as I'm with you on this one. I hope the last thing that they do is have them go head to head again because their WrestleMania 40 match was one of the biggest travesties.
I don't think they'll go together again, but I think there'll be some sort of betrayal
Okay.
that sets
Mhm.
Jim off because
Maybe it's the other.
they did it with Jay.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know because I'm waiting for it because that would entertain me.
Mhm.
would entertain, like, the shock of a betrayal.
Mhm.
Same with, like, Sammy, if Sammy went after Jay.
Right.
Um,
And you know what I see, Kyle? What what you because we're gonna look at this from two different perspectives. One, we're them coming back together for a big split. What I'm visioning, what I'm seeing in my head is Raw after Mania, the Usos tag team champion, Sami Zayn world champion, and you got the Bloodline together. I think if they're doing this, it's for the foreseeable future. I don't think this is gonna
but
be
if
a
that's what we
short
go
term thing.
to,
I'm also just really just throwing shit
yeah,
at the
well,
wall,
hey,
but
that's welcome to break it down. We
and that's
spitball here.
damn right.
Uh, but my thing is back to people saying, like, it's 2019 all over again.
Mhm.
Do I really need to see the blood? I don't know. I just
No, that's why I'm confused with it because I
yeah,
think Jay Uso, you already set him off. Like you did that, like keep it that way. And Jimmy Uso, you just haven't done anything with him. Just keep
right.
working on him. Like, that's what you do. Um, but yeah, so they're if they like I said, if they go back together, I think it's going to be a foreseeable future thing. I don't
Okay.
think it's going to be like a one off. I think that they will I don't know. I also think the tag team division on Raw is a step below SmackDown, so I think giving them a team like the Usos also, helps out the tag team division a bit. Um, but yeah, do you have any other thoughts on those two? I already mentioned him, Kyle, so we can kind of just segue into it.
Yeah, let's
Sami
do it.
Zayn, new US champion.
You did it.
Who would have fucking thought? Yeah, after a few short weeks of feuding with the MFTs, and showing up on SmackDown and getting moved to SmackDown, he's champ. Solo Sikoa just going right down, sliding right down the card, losing all his momentum. Sami Zayn never won the U.S. title before, one away from the Grand Slam, and we all know what title he's missing. So, thoughts on him being the new champ, Solo losing the belt in the manner that he did, how quickly that he did? I'd love to hear your two cents.
I thought Solo could have. I I like Sammy as a champion. I
Mhm,
think that, and I read that, and I kind of agree that they're kind of test piloting this to kind of see how he handles, which is kind of how I felt like they handled the U.S. title the last couple times,
mhm.
with the last few superstars. Test pilot, see how they handle it, and let's kind of see how they can run with it, i.e., LA Knight. Yeah.
Yeah,
So my thing is, yeah, I like it because I think Sammy deserves it. I think that Solo showed flashes of brilliance and sometimes
mhm,
I think he laid an egg. I don't think he needs a faction, but
yeah.
that's a different
That's a different
story for a
conversation.
different day.
Mhm,
I think he I think he's just too early in that. But I'd like to see what Sammy does with this US title. I think the crowd loves him, so that's going to be a fun championship pop
mhm.
on Friday, and so we'll see what happens. But yeah, it's interesting. We'll see how this pushes into January.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're just kind of they're just confusing us more and more about what's going on with Sami Zayn because like weeks ago, months ago, I was like he's gonna be winning the Rumble, main eventing WrestleMania, and now he's winning US belts, but that still could mean he could win the Rumble and win the World Championship. So they're doing a lot with Sami Zayn.
Well, it's
He's been a
two
part of
birds,
some
one
interesting
stone.
stories and stuff. So
Two birds, one stone. He gets his first U.S. title.
yeah.
So I just
He'll get the Grand Slam championship when if he wins the world championship. So
right.
it's kind of like a yeah, you're kind of accomplishing a few things during this run. But yeah, I'm excited too. I mean, I love Sammy. He's one of the best wrestlers on the roster. The fans love him. You know, he's going to give you good quality matches and title defenses. So I think it's a step up as far as like who the champion is. Just WWE wasn't booking Sol Sikoa well, so that title reign really meant nothing to me towards the tail end. Yeah, all right. Now we are done with Clash. We're done with SmackDown Raw. We can talk about the head to head battle, kind of, that's happening in a few weeks. So, Wrestlepalooza and AEW All Out, September 20th, Saturday. Both shows were supposed to be at 7 p.m. Eastern Time today, Wednesday, September 3rd. This is going to be a late release, guys. So, this came out earlier in the day. As we all know, AEW and HBO have a working deal in place. They have started putting their shows, old Dynamites and PLEs on HBO. It's been amazing. It's so nice going back and watching like Double or Nothings, Full Gears, Revolutions. It is perfect. Can't wait for them to keep expanding their catalog there. They announced today HBO Max will start streaming. I don't know if it's exclusively, but they will start streaming their pay-per-views on their platform for $39.99 a month, which is about $10 lower than what you get on Amazon or whatever service. And with that happening, they announced that it is being pushed back to 3 p.m. Eastern that day. So now they will be starting before Wrestlepalooza. It'll bleed into it, most likely, because AEW events usually go 4.5, 5 hours long. And then WWE will have Wrestlepalooza. So far, I wish we could sit here and say, like, oh, these are the matches that are going to go head to head. There really aren't many matches announced. We can speculate. We've kind of like we've done with Wrestlepalooza. But Kyle, you being the new AEW fan on the block, the biggest fan on the block, just I want you to just talk to me. Talk to me about that
Sure.
Saturday, September 20th. Talk to me about WrestlePalooza All Out. What you want to see out of this, what you're expecting to see. And we talked about competition a little bit last week. Just like just talk to me about this. What are your thoughts on all of this?
First of all, I mean, like I said last week, I love it. I love feeling like I'm back in the Monday Night Raw, Monday Night War days.
Yeah.
Like it's just like it's healthy competition. I'm gonna watch AEW.
Hmm.
I've come to the conclusion that the wrestling that I enjoy is tactical, it's over the line, and it's something that you shouldn't show your friends at work unless you really,
Yeah,
really trust them.
sure.
And so AEW, uh, they're going to call the 3 hour time block on TBS September to Remember,
Love that.
which they trademarked, which
So
is an
good.
ECW trademark. So you
And
have two ECW trademarks, one Wrestlepalooza, and the other one September to Remember.
one of them
Which
significantly cooler than the other.
I mean, if you put it on a
Significantly.
scale, it's a no brainer.
Yeah.
Uh, you're gonna
Yeah,
have
I mean,
the Saturday
yeah, if
tailgate
we're
bowl.
stripping down really quick, WrestlePalooza is a shit name, but if we're being
Yeah,
completely honest, it's not a good name. It's more of a me honestly, like, it's one of those things where it's like when they announce, like, there might be bringing back an event they call WrestlePalooza, it was one of those instant, like, "Ooh, is this like Centel, like NBA Centel or, like, one of those fake accounts that's tweeting fake shit?" I'm like,
right.
WrestlePalooza is a name that, like, AI would make up or something. No,
Yeah.
it's a thing, but yeah.
And it's a palooza of 4 or 5 matches. So,
Yeah,
not
yeah,
where you would
yeah.
think like a litany of matches.
Mhm.
So, yeah, so I don't know. I'm excited, and they haven't really gone over these matches yet, but we were talking about it in the pre-show.
Yep.
If we get a Darby Allen, John Moxley, Texas death match, I
That's
I
that's the
might
seller.
I might not watch anything else but the death match and then replay it for 5 straight hours after.
You can I tell you something? There have been numerous Texas death matches that you now that it's on Max and stuff, I'll send you
Right.
some that you should check out. I genuinely believe and there have been some brutal ones. Hangman, Swerve, obviously Moxley, Hangman that we just saw. I will have reason to believe that this could go down as the most violent, brutal AEW match in history. Because I
And it
don't think there's anything that either man would stop at where
right.
they're like, "Oh, let's try this. Okay, let's do it. Are you
Sure.
sure? Yeah, let's do." Like, I think either of them would keep pushing each other to see how far they would go
Right.
because they're both sick in different ways. Darby is more of like skinnier adrenaline junkie can do high flying shit. Moxley's just he'll take fucking glass in his eyes. He doesn't give
Yeah.
a fuck.
But
You
and
put
that's
those 2 in a ring together in that situation, one of them's gonna die. One of
but
them or both.
that's where I love watching, and this is why, like, going back and rewatching matches are fun, but
Mhm,
I love the fact of knowing that there are 2 people in some sort of arena at that present time. Like, it's just an adrenaline rush for me as a viewer to
mhm.
just know it's happening, and that I will be
We
covered in honey
we
somewhere watching that match.
we will definitely we might have to, maybe we'll try to plan out like a co-stream or something on YouTube. That would be fun because
Oh,
the other thing I was gonna say
I'll be
was
on the floor.
what I like about this and All Out now being announced earlier, because we were also mentioning this, I don't know if it was last week or the week before, for streaming purposes, incredible. Because now, I mean, it's gonna be a lot of streaming, but like I'm gonna be able to stream from fucking 3 o'clock to like 11 o'clock. Like I don't have to be worrying about double watching, double screening it. I can kind of just go back to back. There'll be some run through with some AEW going to WWE, but being able to watch them separately and react to them separately, I'm I'm happy about that, even though the competition aspect of it, we're kind of it's still they're still going head to head, but it's not the same as it would have been if they was at the same time,
Right.
obviously. Um, but yeah, they only have Cope and Christian versus FTR announced for this show. But you mentioned Darby Mox as a match that could happen.
And I
Uh,
saw Bandito, uh,
Bandito, I think they've been maybe with the Don Callis family, a
yeah.
tag team championship match because the Don Callis family is trying to get all the fucking gold in the world now. And then it could be Adam Page versus Takeshita. It could be Adam Page versus Omega. There's a few options. All I know is Osprey and Swerve will not be on the card. Mercedes Monet, Alex Windsor, that's a match that could happen. Also, Young Bucks go. See, there's so many different scenarios. Young
I
Bucks
will
versus
love that
Golden
match.
Lovers.
The Young Bucks versus the Golden Lovers will be a match that I will, because I
W-
would like to know what the Young Bucks, what goes wrong, they've got me now. That whole bit has me so locked in to watching those matches now.
There is genuinely, Kyle, my one of my favorite matches I have ever seen with my own two eyes is the Golden Lovers versus the Young Bucks, but this was from 2012, I think.
Okay.
It's on YouTube. I might send you the link to this because especially if they do announce this match, this can
Send
get
me
you.
all the links, and that
I'm
goes
gonna
for
send
anyone
you a
too.
lot of.
Because I see a lot of people saying like, "We want Kyle to watch this."
I'm gonna
Just
send
send it.
you one of these days, either one night this week, this weekend. I'm gonna put together a list with links next to these matches and stuff for
Yeah,
you to watch. This match, the Golden Lovers, has one of the greatest spots, just like wrestling spots, but just like the things that go into it, the build up to it. I had to pause the match and I literally had to like take a walk around my apartment because it was just like I'm being dead serious. Like I after I finished that match, I
I have
was
to go
like,
for a walk.
I don't know if I've never seen a better tag team match than it for
I
sure.
love it.
But we could get that 13 years later here. There's a lot of possibilities. Whereas Wrestlepalooza, the only match we have announced is Io Sky versus Stephanie Vaquer for the women's championship, the vacant, which we kind of skipped over that on Raw. I am happy that this is the match that they're going with, and they're not putting Rhea Ripley in. I'm kind of surprised they didn't put Rhea Ripley in here because this is their first ESPN show. Rhea Ripley, I'd say household name as far as well-known wrestlers. People love Rhea Ripley, but they went with Io Sky. I think this is going to be a better match, better showing.
Who do you think
John
wins?
Cena, it's going to be a phenomenal match. They had a Stephanie had they had a match together. Was it the night after WrestleMania? It could have been the night after WrestleMania,
I
whenever
think
it
it
was.
was.
But they
Yeah, was it
they
on Raw?
burned the house down. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
they
I was.
killed it.
Yeah, 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 I was there for that.
Oh, you were there for
Yeah,
that. Oh, yeah, that's right. You were.
yep, sure
Um,
was.
f Great match. They're doing it on a bigger stage. I think they'll deliver. It says John Cena versus TBA. We all know it's going to be Brock
Brock
Lesnar.
Lesnar.
The mixed tag team match, whether it's the couples versus the couples or CM Punk and Rhea Ripley, I don't fucking know. And then everything else is kind of up to speculation at this point. So you said you're looking forward to All Out the most, which
I am.
I don't I don't blame you. I don't blame you personally.
I just
I think WWE is going to do some shit. I think that they're going to try to go all out here. I do think it will be more than 5 matches too. I think that
yeah.
they will not like it's going to be like 10. I think it'll only be like 6 or 7. But I do think they're going to I don't know what it is, but they're going to try to do something to get obviously to get people talking and they're closing the night of wrestling, so they have the opportunity to get people to do something big that people will be talking about over AEW, but I don't know. I don't know what that could be.
It's just for me right now. And a couple weeks ago, I was still really trying to fight this feeling
Yep.
that there's nothing WWE can do that will feed the inner wrestling fan of my childhood.
Yep.
They're not the same company. And the fans that are WWE fans now, some of them have forgotten that.
Yep.
And the ones who haven't are AEW fans.
Sure.
It's not that I want blood because I need blood. It's just that, like I said earlier, it's a gladiator sport. And I
Mhm.
want to see two people who I feel truly hate each other go to war. They're
Yeah.
fighting. And there's just some points of AEW matches that it tickles my childish inner child. It
Sure.
gets me to that moment. And
It brings you
so
back to that attitude era,
yes, exactly
that
right.
competitive attitude era, and you said that I think the very first podcast we did together, you said AEW was in their attitude era.
And I stand by that.
Yeah.
And not to clarify, because we had this before, not in the terms of the stadiums, but in the terms of the entertainment in the ring, the grittiness, the shock value.
And energy. I'd say the
Yeah,
energy
yeah,
too, of, like, the
grittiness,
crowds
energy,
and
shock
everything.
value.
Mhm.
That's great. Yeah, great word. Those are the reasons that in the ring, it makes me a more of an AEW fan.
And it goes without being said, WWE is always gonna be the top dog. It just always is. They're the monopoly. They're gonna have the backing. They're the billion-dollar company, but that doesn't mean that they are the better company.
I don't
And
know.
that doesn't
MJF
mean they're a
puts
better wrestling company. They're I wouldn't even WWE at this point isn't wrestling. It's sports entertainment. That's what it's all
right,
they don't turn themselves the wrestling is in the name World Wrestling Entertainment, but so is
right,
entertainment. They coined themselves as sports entertainers. They coined themselves as a television product and stuff, where AEW, their moniker is that's where the best wrestle. It's hard to argue that because they're allowed to go out there and be wrestlers and not sports entertainers. That's why you have some of these AEW guys that go to WWE. They get watered down because it's a sports entertainment company where you see some guys and it doesn't always, work out at 100%, but and you get guys from WWE go to AEW and it's like, holy shit, why haven't they been doing this? Well, WWE doesn't let them do that because
right.
it's a different style. Um, so yeah, I'll say it too. Like Wrestlepalooza, they're gonna have the big names. They're gonna have the John Cena, Brock. They're gonna whatever, but it's not. A lot of these things are just being put together to have this big show on ESPN. I don't care about John Cena,
Right.
Brock. That's gonna be the main event. I don't care about that. I don't. I don't
And
want Brock
because
Lesnar
of
back.
that, and you just said it, because of that, I can watch it on streaming. I'll
There you
catch
go.
it after the fact.
Right.
It's
Mhm.
not put together to garner my attention as a real in the moment thing. It's put
Yep.
together for me to, oh, I can catch that after.
Yeah.
AEW has made me legit
When it's on,
entertained.
you
Like,
wanna
I
watch
want
it
to watch it.
live. Mhm.
So that's
And
what I'm
then,
going to
hey,
do.
and guess what? AEW Dynamite's on tonight. Let's preview AEW Dynamite while we're here.
Ooh, let's do that.
AEW Dynamite, they announced that they're actually coming back to Boston in November, so I will be
Funny you
on
should
the
mention while you pull that up. I am gonna go what am I gonna do? Dynamite.
Mhm.
I'm gonna go in Houston November 5th and November 8th. So that's
Let's
the Wednesday and the Saturday.
let's fucking go.
I'm at least for one of those nights gonna go all out and do the VIP ringside.
Mhm.
Seems to be only $300-400. Not bad. I mean,
Dirt
it's
cheap compared to WWE.
exactly. It's a lot
Dirt
of money,
cheap.
and I'm not gonna say like it's not a lot of money, but if I
No,
was
but
to do that for
comparatively, it's
WWE,
nothing.
yeah, I would need to sell my first child. So,
Don't worry, Braxton, you'll be okay.
he is safe and sound. So, question:
Yes.
do I go Wednesday? Do I go Saturday? Do I bring a sign? What should it say?
If I had to pick a day, I'd go the Wednesday. I think
Okay.
Dynamite over Collision. I think Collision has just kind of been that show that I feel like has always gotten a bad rep because it's like the secondary show, but when it came on, it was like the third show, and they're trying to make it
Right.
like more than a B show. But their style, their quality of wrestling on Collision is fantastic. It's just
Okay.
kind of like it's on Saturday nights. I'm not really around Saturday. I'm
That's
it's a tough night. It's a tough night.
okay.
You can rewatch it, but Dynamite usually I would say is the one to go to. if you were to bring a sign, MJF eats corn the long way. That's the
Okay.
sign that I would bring. Or yeah, and so I think that I don't know if I think it was in WCW. Was it Hulk Hogan? There was someone that had the sign. It's just
I
like
think it was
one of those.
Goldberg.
It may have been Goldberg. I think it was Goldberg. But now it's like every now and then I see something like that, and it's just like I think it's the funniest shit ever. So
Okay.
someone eating corn the long ways. That's what I would
I
do.
can do that. Okay.
Front and center. But AEW tonight, we have Mercedes Moné versus Alex Windsor for the TBS Championship. That's a match that we said could happen at All Out. Guess what? Getting it on Dynamite because that's what AEW does. And an all-star eight-man tag match. Hangman Adam Page, Kenny Omega, and Jet Speed of Kevin Knight and Speedball Mike Bailey versus the Proto Star Kyle Fletcher, Josh Alexander, and the Young Bucks. So it's gonna be some high quality
Sure.
action. Only matches announced, but it is in the 2300 arena in Philly, one of the most notorious wrestling arenas in the world. Atmosphere there is always great, crowd's always great. So looking to be a good show. Not much announced, but those
Excited.
two matches are looking good. And yeah, Kyle, do you have anything else you want to add? Because I
This
think we
flew
might.
by.
It did. This was a fast hour. This was a fast hour. I'm, like, looking at the clock, and I'm like, "Damn, I'm really gonna be at Chili's in 20 minutes. This is impeccable
I love
timing.
that for you.
This is impeccable timing."
Okay. Last thing. I don't have a
Mhm.
fantasy football team name.
Oh god. Oh,
And
you
so
want
what I need is in the comments, I need a fantasy football team name.
Okay.
And this will be picked by Saturday because Sunday is game time.
Yes,
So
sir.
if you or your friends can come up with a fantasy football name, uh, feel free to knock it out for me because I
Kyle would
need one.
appreciate it.
Team BD is pretty generic and pretty lame, and I don't.
I have to update my team name too. I'll give one quick fantasy football story before we sign off. Has nothing to do with wrestling. So this past weekend it was Taylor's birthday. Happy birthday, Taylor! In the
Happy
comments,
birthday, Taylor.
we went to Nantucket this weekend. So we took the ferry there,
I
and
once
I
knew a
had my
man from
fantasy
Nantucket.
football draft. What'd you say?
I once knew a man from Nantucket. Go ahead,
Oh, did
continue.
you? Okay. I don't know if he was still. I had the fantasy football draft, all right? On the way back, it was at like 4 in the afternoon. So the ferry has Wi-Fi and everything. I was on it on the way there, no issues. Using it on the way back up until the point when the draft started, no issues. I had pick 11 and pick 14. Those are my two first picks. Draft starts, everything's going great. We get to pick 11. I'm clicking Nico Collins, my app freezes, just the spinning wheel. So I'm like, there's 45 seconds left on the pick. I'm like, okay, let me just reset the app, like open it back up, whatever. I reset the app, open it up. It goes, you need to log in or sign up. I'm like, oh my God. I was like,
No.
what do you mean? I'm like, what? So now I'm like, I'm starting to like get hot flash. I'm like, no, I'm like, this not happening.
Oh
And so
no.
I reset the app again, open it up, and it says like everything was there. I didn't have to sign in or whatever. I'm like, okay, click on the draft, go to the draft room. And when I opened it, it was still on me. And then after 2 seconds, it updated and went to the next kid. So I was like, did it take Collins? I look, Christian McCaffrey. I wanted to kill myself. I wanted to jump off that
Oh
ferry.
no.
So I'm like, okay, that's pick 11. I wanted to go wide receiver, wide receiver. I wanted to whatever. I'm like, all right, got my running back, pick 14. Let's figure this out. I go to take who was even available? It was the running back from the Raiders, and a few other receivers. Derrick Henry. There was a few people there that I was undecided, but I had like three people I was choosing between. Right. All of a sudden, I don't even get a chance to click anything. It just my app just crashes
Oh,
completely. I open it up. Ashton Genty, running back for the Raiders, pick number
thanks.
14. So now I have McCaffrey, who played 3 games last year, and a rookie running back in Las Vegas as my two top picks. And I tried to make it work the rest of the way, but guys, even if you think you have stable connection, make sure you got stable connection before going into a draft
I
because
would have
oh,
thrown my body off of the ferry
I was
I would have been
texting
sweating.
I was
I would have
texting
been
my
yelling at
friends. I
people.
was like, and this is a like we do big buy like I'm in 3 leagues, but this is my biggest buy-in. We've been this is our 10th year doing it. Like this is all my high school friends
Right.
and stuff. So I'm like, I text them. I was like, listen, I'm not that guy. Like, we're gonna keep this going, but I just want you all to know I didn't want either of those guys. Cause my friend was like, why McCaffrey? I'm like, that
Why
wasn't my
not?
pick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, ESPN wanted me to have him. So yeah.
Oh,
I hopefully it works out. I tweeted out my team on Twitter. People said it actually was good. So I'm gonna ride on those coattails and hopefully it all works out for me.
well, good.
But yeah, all right. Let us know in the comments how your fantasy team is looking. Let us know in the comments what you're thinking of Wrestlepalooza All Out, the fallout from Clash in Paris, everything down below. Let us know. Follow Kyle everywhere. Other Beatty, social media is that other Beatty is that where people can find you?
The other BD on TikTok, the other BD 22 on the
22.
Instagram.
That's the number we were looking
Follow me,
for.
follow me, follow me.
Check them out. You're already here. Like, subscribe. If you're not subscribed, I don't know what you're doing. Subscribe. And yeah, you'll be seeing me all week with content. We'll see you here next week for episode 18. Peace out.